الحمد لله إن الحمد لله نحمده ونصلي على الكريم أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أما بعد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم البر حسن الخلق. Over the past few weeks, we have looked at some of the narrations and hadiths in which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam described Islam. 2 weeks ago, we looked at the statement of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in which he said, "Inna deenu yusr," that the religion is ease. Last week, we looked at the statement of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in which he said, "Ad-deenu nasiha." The religion is wanting good for each other, sincere well-wishing. This week, we look at the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which a Sahabi asked him, "Mal bir," what is piety? What is righteousness? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, "Al-birru husnul khulaq." Righteousness is to have good character. And so this is our third description of Islam and the qualities that embody our religion. That this is a religion of ease, it's a religion of wanting good for each other, and it is a religion of good character. It is a religion that teaches us how to be the best versions of ourselves. In another hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Bu'istu limutimmu masail al-akhlaq." I was sent to perfect good character. This hadith teaches us that good character has always existed. This is something that's part of human nature. Human beings, we know within our consciousness that certain things are good and certain things are bad. For example, you don't need religion to teach you that treachery and betrayal are evil. Humans know this in their core. We know this within the fitrah that Allah has given us, that certain things are good character and certain things are bad character. What the Prophet ﷺ came with in terms of the Quran and the Sunnah is the perfection of this. Islam didn't come to teach us good character. It came to teach us the best character. And so, when someone understands this religion properly, and they follow this religion properly, they become the people with the best character in society. And that character is what attracts other people to Islam. If you look historically at any land that Muslims migrated to in early Islam, you will find that one of the primary methods of da'wah was the character and the personality of the believers. That people would want to know more about Islam because of the personalities of the believers. People would be attracted to Islam because of the character of the believers. They did not have to hand out pamphlets. They did not have to have debates. They did not have to go door to door. They just had to be Muslims. Just being the best version of yourself for the sake of Allah is enough to attract people to Islam. But something happened. And somewhere down the line, we forgot that this is a religion of good character. One of the problems we have in our community today, when you speak to young people and you ask them, and I've asked many young people this question, what's putting you off from Islam? What's stopping you from coming to the masjid? What's stopping you from coming for Islamic lectures? Many of them have this answer. They have other answers as well, and I will go into those in later lectures, inshallah. But this is the answer many young people have. The character of the elders, the character of the practicing Muslims, the character of the people in the masjid. What do you mean? The young man walks into the masjid for the first time, or even worse, if it's a young lady walking to the masjid for the first time, they are met with scowls, angry faces, judging eyes, reprimandation, shouting, somewhere down the line this became the character of the Muslim. It's become such that people think that if you start following Islam, you've got to get grouchy. You've got to develop a scowl. You've got to get this super serious personality. People are going to be scared of you. And they misquote Umar radiallahu anhu on this. They really misquote, because whenever you meet people with this personality and they say they're doing it for Allah, and you ask them, why are you being so rough? Why are you being so harsh? They say, no, I'm following the sunnah of Umar radiallahu anhu. That is not the sunnah of Umar radiallahu anhu. When Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was choosing his replacement to be the next Khalifa, he nominated Umar. And Ali radiallahu anhu said, Umar is too harsh. So Abu Bakr called Umar and he told him, listen, I want you to be the next Khalifa, but you've got to be less harsh. So Umar said, yes, I will try my best to be less harsh. And Umar radiallahu anhu spent his entire Khilafat worrying that he's too harsh on people. He would cry at night out of fear of Allah that I'm being too harsh on the people, it might chase them away from Islam. He did not look at his harshness as the sunnah. He looked at it as some part of his nafs he needs to improve on. So people shouldn't go around saying I'm being harsh because I'm trying to be like Umar. That's not trying to be like Umar. Umar radiallahu anhu was a man who tried to control his harshness and be softer. That is the actual sunnah of our religion. That is the attainment of perfection of character. But somewhere down the line we lost this. Somewhere down the line we became a nation where our religiosity is portrayed in harshness, in roughness, in meanness. And before this used to be only in the masjids, but now it's everywhere. You go on social media and it's just these rough, angry, harsh Muslims condemning each other. We just go, everywhere you go, it's just this harshness, this anger. It's as if to be a good Muslim you've got to hate everybody and fight with everybody. That's not the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His sunnah was good character. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from his sunnah was to smile, to meet people with a cheery face. If we go about our communities, we assume that the sunnah is to scowl. That's the opposite of the sunnah. In fact, if that's becoming our religion, that's becoming bid'ah. Right? We're replacing the sunnah with its opposite. We need to be careful of how we portray ourselves in society. And it's not just the youth. I have met so many people who are not Muslim. And when they try to do da'wah to them, they simply say, don't talk to me about Islam. I've met Muslims and they're not nice people. I've heard this. I've heard this from people in our community. So what are we doing as a community? Where has this character of the believer gone? So today I want to just mention a few ways in which we can revive the true character and personality of the believer. And if we just implement these few things, then inshallah, we get closer to the sunnah. We get closer to being people of bir, people of righteousness. We get closer to embodying this religion in our actions and our personalities. And we get closer to being walking da'wah. That our very existence becomes a means of calling people towards Allah. Number one, smile more. I'm not saying smile all the time. Nobody can smile all the time. We all go through trials, we all go through difficulties. We all have times you've got to be serious. Obviously, if a child comes to you with a failed report and you want to tell him to do better, you're not going to smile and do it. Maybe you will. Everyone's personality is different. But you don't have to smile all the time. Right? You don't have to smile at funerals. Right? Time and place for everything. But smile more. Because smiling is a sunnah. And smiling is a sadaqah. You see, when you meet someone with a smile, and that person's having a bad day, and your smile brightens up their day, and it puts a little bit of joy in their heart, you are doing an act of sadaqah. You are doing a good deed that benefits somebody else. And you will get the reward of sadaqah for simply smiling at people. So let's smile. Let it be people who are approachable in our personalities. So number one, smile more. Number two, have husnul dhan. Husnul dhan means think good about others. You hear something bad about someone else, assume the best about them. Don't assume the worst about them. Have husnul dhan. Example, someone walks into the masjid. The person walks in dressed completely inappropriately. Have husnul dhan. Think to yourself, maybe this person is coming to learn about Islam. And it's their first time coming to a masjid. And they are unaware of the rulings of the Awrah. So let me greet them with a smiling face. Let me welcome them in. And let me see how I can assist them. Don't assume the worst of them. Oh, this person's coming here to cause trouble. I don't assume the worst of others. Number 3, forgive each other. Forgive each other. We all make mistakes, we all mess up, we all have our bad moods, we all say things that we don't mean. Learn to forgive each other and not hold grudges against each other. Sometimes we have community cases where brothers and sisters, literal blood brothers and sisters, don't speak to each other for 20 or 30 years over one fight. One fight. They break family ties, which is a major sin. The breaking of family ties is a major sin. It's not a minor sin. It's one of the biggest sins we can commit. Forgive each other. If the other person doesn't forgive you, you at least forgive them and reach out to them and do good for them. But we begin with forgiveness. Smile, think good of others, forgive each other. Number 4, help people in any way you can. Be an asset to your community. Not just to Muslims. We need to get over this mindset that we only help Muslims. And we only do charity to Muslims. And we only support Muslims. That's not the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's not the way of Islam. Umar radiallahu anhu, when he was the Khalifa, he once saw an elderly Jewish man begging. And when he asked him why, the man said that I can't work, I'm too old to work, and I can't pay the jizya. So Umar radiallahu anhu changed the ruling, and he said the elderlies amongst them, they don't have to pay jizya, we'll give them money. We can give them money so they can live a good retirement. And this wasn't a Muslim man. This was one of the Ahlul Kitab. Be good to everyone, help everyone. Be someone who's willing to be a benefit to society. This is all part of the good character that's expected from us. And finally, the final point I want to make about how we can be people of good character, welcome everybody into the masjid. Welcome everybody into your Islamic circles. Welcome everybody into your classes. Whatever it is, if you are involved in any Islamic work, whoever shows up, whatever sins they have committed, whatever background they come from, whatever personality they're coming with, welcome them in, be good to them, and be a role model to them. Yes, if someone is causing trouble, and someone is there just to fight, and someone is there just to cause problems, you give them the benefit of the doubt, you give them time, eventually, maybe you can tell that person not to come anymore, if they prove they can't change. But in the beginning, no matter who it is, even if it seems they're just coming here to pick a fight with you, be welcoming. Be welcoming. Because that is how you reach out to people. Just a few days ago, a friend of mine messaged me and he said that he's giving a lecture. And the woman coming for his lecture don't wear hijab. And someone told him it's haram for him to give lectures to women who don't wear hijab. And I replied and said, the fact that they're coming for your lecture means they want some benefit. If you chase them away, how are they going to learn about Allah's deen? If you chase them away, how are they going to learn that? Maybe they don't even know that hijab is an obligation because everyone keeps chasing them away. No one teaches them. Right? So don't chase people away. Welcome people. Talk to them. And let them enter your circles. Let them be a part of your community. That's the only way we can reach out to people. If you chase people away, they will go elsewhere. And if they're running away from the house of Allah, they're heading towards the house of Shaitan. So let us be welcoming towards our people. And let us be people who bring people towards Allah through our character and through our personalities. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين ونستغفره ونؤمن ونتوكل عليه أما بعد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بعثت لأتم مصائر الأخلاق. There is a difference in Islam between akhlaq and adab, and I just want to clarify the difference in the second khutbah because a lot of times people mix up these two terms and they are both important. Akhlaq, character, and adab, manners, are two separate but related things. Akhlaq refers to our inner characteristics, who we are as people. Adab refers to our manners, what we do. For example, humility is akhlaq. Humility takes place in the heart, right? Being good to people is adab, it's manners, it's something that we physically do. So if you look, for example, at forgiving people, there's two levels of forgiving people. There is the adab, where you tell the person, I forgive you, and then there's the akhlaq, where honestly in your heart, you forgive the person. Because it's very easy to tell someone, I forgive you, but in your heart you still have malice towards them. So as Muslims, we're supposed to focus both on our akhlaq and our adab. But between the two, akhlaq is more important. Why is akhlaq more important? Because it's easy to fake our manners, but the condition of our heart cannot be faked. Here are a few examples of akhlaq. Having jealousy in your heart is bad akhlaq. Having goodness in your heart, nasiha in your heart towards others is good akhlaq. Having arrogance is bad akhlaq. Having humility is good akhlaq. Being a liar is bad akhlaq. Being a truthful person is good akhlaq. Sometimes a person with good akhlaq may slip up and do something that's bad manners. Maybe a truthful person may occasionally lie. May Allah forgive us all. Maybe sometimes a person who is, humble may have a moment of arrogance. May Allah forgive us. But what matters more is the condition of our heart. Because that's what guides us. That's what pulls us out. That's what makes us realize, oh, I lied, it was wrong. Oh, I was arrogant today, that was wrong. But if our hearts are messed up, then we won't even know when we're doing something wrong. And we become hypocrites in our personalities. People who have malice in our hearts and sweet words on our tongues. So purifying the heart is even more important. But they both go hand in hand. So the Prophet ﷺ said, I was sent to perfect good character. This starts inside of us. It starts with perfecting the condition of our souls. That we replace our jealousy with love. We replace our arrogance with humility. We replace our desires for this world with desires for the afterlife. We replace our selfishness with selflessness. This is where it begins. This is real akhlaq. And when we have real akhlaq, it automatically shows in our adab. Because a person who is truly humble is going to be humble in everything they do. And a person who is truly sincere is going to be sincere in everything they do. You cannot fake the outside when the inside is pure, because it's not going to work. It's simply not going to work. A person who is truly sincere is going to do actions of sincerity. And so the Prophet ﷺ said, and we will end on this note, that the Prophet ﷺ said that beware, there is a lump of flesh inside of you, that if it is pure, if it is good, if it is healthy, everything is good. And if it is corrupted, everything becomes corrupted. And he said it is the heart. In Islam, we don't just talk about the physical heart, but we talk about the metaphysical heart. The place of emotions, the place of piety. Right? We believe that just like how our body has a heart that keeps it alive, our soul has a heart where we get our piety and our emotions from. And that's what we talk about when we say purification of the heart. We're talking about that part of the heart, the metaphysical part. And so beware that when this heart becomes corrupt, everything we do becomes corrupt. And when this heart becomes pure, everything we do becomes pure. Many a time the problem we make is when we start practicing Islam, we focus on the outside. We focus on how we dress, we focus on how we look, we focus on the perception of piety. That we look pious in the eyes of others. And forget to focus on the heart. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Taqwa ha'una. Taqwa is here, it is inside the heart. And that is what should be our primary focus. May Allah make us all people of akhlaq. May He make us all people of adab. May He make us from those who bring people towards Allah. And may He never make any of our actions or words a means of chasing people away from Allah. سبحان ربك عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.